Welcome back, everybody. It's the TJ and N show. Tyler here with Josh and Nick. Everybody's had a bit of a shit show week, so we're going to go ahead and call this episode a train wreck. A lot of tangents. Just hope you guys have as much fun as we're about to.
Dumpster fire.
I was muted. That's really funny, guys. Welcome.
Don't worry, I'll just cut that 5 minutes of silence down to a few seconds. We'll get the same effect.
That's pretty funny. Welcome. Yeah, we had a tough week. We're here to just do it. Just do it.
We are now part of the Nike ad campaign of
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Yeah, we mostly just have some fun happenings for you guys this week. I got a couple Am I the Assholes and then Nick's running trivia. So it's gonna be lots of fun.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and dive into it. First, I want to talk about this Gabby Petito case. Now, unfortunately, it being a dumpster fire episode, I don't know the timeline of the Gabby Petito part of the case, more just the Brian Laundrie manhunt. That's more where I picked up on the whole shebang. But Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito, they were engaged. They were doing the whole van life thing. Then, towards the beginning of September, Gabby's parents get some cryptic message from her about not having service. And then that's the last day from her ever. She goes missing, and Brian just takes her van and just drives back to his parents' house like nothing happened. They go on a camping trip. And then before the authorities can get a hold of things and get in contact with him, he decides to go on a solo camping trip. So I guess I should clarify. They were in the western part of the United States, in Nevada, Utah, that area, and then his parents live in Florida, and that's where the manhunt took place, was in Florida. So basically after that, the parents we don't know anything. He went camping and we haven't heard from him. So then the FBI spent $1.2 million over a month looking for the man. Dog the Bounty Hunter got involved. I feel like everyone knows something about this case at this point. It's been so blown out. And then so everyone is under the impression, I don't want to say everyone, but I mean we're all thinking that he murdered her, because before she went missing they had a domestic dispute call where they were separated for a night by the police, and this and that. So my guess would be domestic assault gone bad, and she ended up dead, and he freaked out and drove away, and then decided to run from the police, and after this manhunt and all these sightings, everyone's saying they've seen him all over the United States and down in Mexico and this and that, and you got these TikTok psychics calling the FBI tip line, clogging it up. And my favorite thing, a little tangent on this, is I found this guy on TikTok called Not Brian Laundrie, and he looks just fucking like the dude. He looks like he could be his twin. And that was his whole TikTok. He's like, I'm about to have to fly across the country for a wedding while everyone's looking for this dude that looks just like me. What do I do?
It's funny.
So he ended up just putting on a mask and sunglasses, just covering up his face as much as he could when he was in the airports. But so after the FBI has been looking, for a month and spending millions of tax dollars to find the man, his parents are like, well, we want to join the search. And they go search somewhere that has previously been searched, but the area was underwater. But they were searching in canoes with cadaver dogs and things of the such. And I don't know much about cadaver dogs, but everything I've seen on the internet says they can detect through water, usually. So They go, and within 30 minutes of them searching, they find a dry bag with Brian's notebook and some other stuff in it. And then a body's found, I want to say like 30 yards away. Maybe it was more. The body was bones. It was a partial skeleton, is what they found. Then it was identified by dental records to be him, but to be Brian Laundrie. So you have all these people. You have, of course, now the conspiracy theories start. And me, I think it's just so unsatisfying if this is the truth. Because from what I've seen on the internet, it takes 3 weeks to 7 years for a body to fully decompose. The man was missing for a month, so like that's cutting it close. But he was in Florida, and the body was supposedly submerged.
In freshwater with gators, probably.
Yeah, the
Them gators ate him.
hot, humid climate, which all hate and decomposition.
Decomposition of the cellular makeup of the skin tissue.
I want to see the body. I don't know. I want DNA testing. They have the bone there. They could do that. I don't believe these two bozos could fake dental records, but I also believe that the FBI is willing to accept a cover up after they've spent this much money searching for this fucking random ass dude and they couldn't find him.
Well, I know
That's the
this
funniest
much.
part.
I have only seen dental records be forged, like actual like a dental forgery done in a movie, and it was only one movie. So I don't even know if anything like that's actually fucking possible.
I don't so when I say that I don't think like some people think he went to Mexico and got all of his teeth ripped out and then they found somebody to put them in some random person's skull.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
basically
it's
what
I think it's
happened.
much more likely that they got falsified records from the dentist. I think that'd be easier to fake than
Yeah,
placing the teeth in someone else's skull just to get
Yeah.
records of whatever skull you're using and say this is him.
pretty extreme.
You know what I mean?
It is pretty
I don't know.
extreme. And just thinking about that, you know, he was only missing for a little while, but he was down south and he was in fresh water and all this and that. And there's so many things that play into the factoring of the possibility of the decomposition of the body, accelerating. But he was just a man that we could not find.
He wasn't some like.
He wasn't
I mean, he
trained.
was.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was a camper. He was an outdoorsman. But
So I guess that's all it takes apparently to evade the fucking FBI.
to not just the FBI, the country.
Oh,
Like,
I'm the fucking bounty hunter.
yeah, I mean, it was all over TikTok, all over the news. I mean, all over every social media platform, and he was evading the country. And granted, you have to think, was it because of the influx of false information that was coming in, the false sightings, all this and that? Did that play a factor into him, you know, staying at large for a longer period of time?
Do you know what's crazy though?
So
They have found 9 bodies looking for him. Like they're all like missing persons, and like I'm not saying they're related or anything, but the fact that they've been looking so hard, they've found 9 other bodies.
that's
How crazy
absolutely
is that?
boggles. Yeah.
Have you guys heard any of the conspiracy theories around this case and around him?
No, I have not.
Apparently, they found 2 girls murdered in the same place, same area. Gabby was found dead. She was strangled to death, so she was obviously murdered too. But so some people were saying that he was a fucking serial killer, and that Gabby found out, and then he killed her, because apparently there's like missing persons that line up with the stops on their road trip they took. Then there's this
Around the
whack
same
ass
time?
theory. Yeah,
Ooh, that's kind of trippy though.
it is. It's kind of coincident.
Yeah.
And then there's some whack ass video. Someone flew a drone over his parents' house during the manhunt, and everyone was fucking convinced that it looks like a hand reaches out of
He's
their
in the
garden
garden bed.
and takes something from the mom. So they think he was in some fucking underground bunker or something like that. But here's the thing: like there there'd be records. You can't just build a bunker in your house. You ever heard call 811 before you dig? What do you think that is? Okay. And 2, they're in fucking Florida. The soil's not good for
Yeah.
bunkers or basements or anything like that.
Yeah.
This is true.
We don't
So
have any type of basements or anything.
actually, that's false.
Actually.
Can
Well,
I
yeah, that's pretty interesting.
can I just say the dog the bounty hunter thing, in my opinion, was just a fucking publicity stunt.
It definitely was, man. But what if you would have found
100%.
him? I mean, you can't like Dog is a fucking reality TV show. The man has put thousands of criminals in jail though. Like
He has,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean,
if you do something enough times, you have to get good at it, right?
yeah. But the thing is, Dog the Bounty Hunter also kind of fell off a little bit
It's publicity stuff.
once his wife passed away. Like his first wife passed away from cancer. And now to be invited on the largest manhunt that we've seen
And
in our time, it's
yeah.
I mean, of course he's going to be there. Of
Um
course.
listen though, I mean if you guys see the video of him, I saw a bunch of people like him and Dr. Phil both made videos to Brian. And one, the dog one, it was so funny.
He just
He's
freaks out. He's like,
he's like
"Give
Brian.
yourself to me, Brian."
He's like, Brian, I'm talking to you. So give yourself to me, Brian. Where are you? He's screaming. And then Dr. Phil's like, now, Brian, if you're listening to this, what I need you to do is you need to turn yourself in. Now, you might have made a mistake, but we can fix this out. And I promise you, you're not doing anybody any good by running. And I'm like, yeah, man. If I was Brian Laundrie and Dr. Phil said that to me, I would turn myself in right away, immediately. It's fucking ridiculous.
Tyler, you're such a hardened criminal, as we've all found out from
Listen,
past
listen.
podcast stories.
I
You're such a hardened criminal. I have no doubt in my mind that it wouldn't even take Dr. Phil to speak to you directly through TikTok for you to turn yourself in.
man, I'm definitely more of a suicide by cop kind of guy, I think.
Holy shit, you're so right. You said, "Shoot me! Shoot me!"
Hey, listen, I saw a video of that once. It's this standoff, right? And this dude comes out of this house, and the cops are all there, and he's like, shoot me, come on, shoot me, and you just hear thunk. Ugh, and the guy just screams up bloody murder. They shot him square in the nuts with one of those 40 Mike beanbags. Oh my god, and they just rush him
That's
and
so
cuff him up.
funny.
That video is awesome.
I
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say there's I was pretty convinced that with how long everyone had been searching for him and all the false sightings and stuff, supposed false sightings. I had always been under the assumption that the dude just killed himself. I mean, he had a track record with mental illness and
Maybe he did.
and he was just unstable. So
Well, I imagine in the next couple of weeks we'll find out what's in his journal. I imagine there's probably, if he killed himself, there's probably a suicide note in there.
I mean, assuming that's even his stuff, man.
It's
I
true.
hope so. I
It
hope
is
that
pretty.
I get to
It's so.
learn all the nasty details.
It's so whack that they just went out there and found it in a half hour. Like they just
After over a month of searching.
yeah, it's too suspicious. It's pretty wild though. This is a big thing for me. I love true crime. I don't like the whole active case true crime though. I don't like all the internet sleuths. Like it's fun, it's okay, and it's fun to talk about your theories, whatever. For people to be actively calling the FBI hotline, being like, I saw Brian Laundrie in a dream and he was at Disney World. It's just like, don't do that. Don't do that. You're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's too much.
You see, yeah. I don't know, man. I can't wait to find out more, though. It'd be pretty fun, pretty interesting.
That's if they
Yeah.
decide to tell us.
You're right, but now I feel like the public's too invested now that we have to know. They told us about aliens. They have to tell us about this.
I mean, they discussed UFOs, confirmed UFO sightings. They didn't say shit about aliens.
I mean, it's the same vein. They basically said, yes, UFOs do exist. What they are, who knows? But like
It's a cover up.
it goes back to my Kennedy conspiracy for me. I just think if there's a cover up to be had to make them not look like a bunch of bumbling idiots, they're gonna go for it. You know what I mean? Like because how bad does the FBI look right now? How much money they spent and manpower and time they spent looking for this dude?
And then his parents
It's
go out and find him in 30 minutes.
30 fucking minutes. Some people were saying that they were in contact and they got scared when he didn't talk to them, so they went to go find him. So you think, what do you mean? He turned to a skeleton in 3 days?
I
What
was
do you, what
just
do you
about
talk
to say
like?
that. So basically, he was stripped of all of it. Maybe he was dissolved in acid, and the only thing that was left was bones.
I want to see the bones. If the bones are like fucked up, then that makes it more believable for me, like gators and other things. But like, I don't know. We may never know. Um, I have another fun one for you guys. Another little internet happening. So you guys ever heard of Pokey Princess or Digital Princess? Negative.
No.
So I want to say she's a Twitch girl. She was Pokey Princess, and then Nintendo sued her for using the Pokey thing. So then she's Digital Princess, right? So she was like a Twitch girl, and my apologies. I have to keep blowing my nose. She also does the whole OnlyFans, the accounting thing, right? So the cops were calling on her for child neglect. Basically, her neighbors found her 4-year-old kid outside in the middle of the night. And he's like, I don't know where my mom is. And they call the cops. Then she comes back and she says that she was running to 7-Eleven to get some laundry detergent. But she's dressed in a party dress, a short little black dress, has her makeup all done. And the laundry detergent she has is like a store size, not like the 7-Eleven size. And it's half empty. And she's like, I was going to go buy that. I was just gone for a few minutes. It's right down the road. Come to find out, after they questioned her, story breaks down, and she was at a party 20 minutes away, and just left her kid, to go
Where the fuck
party
was he?
or get some dick. He was asleep at home, but he woke up
By himself?
by himself. Fucking, you make the dick come to you, lady. You don't do that.
Isn't she like half famous?
Yeah, she's pretty famous. She makes a good amount of money. I don't know how many OnlyFans subscribers she has, but she was big on Twitch for a while.
Holy shit. 20-minute away party and left her 4-year-old kid at home by
But
herself?
it gets better.
Oh.
The case got thrown out. I don't know why, but it got thrown out. So she makes this comeback haha haters video where she's in front of the same 7-Eleven in some sports car wearing the same dress. And it's like that 6ix9ine song, but it's like haha, you're mad, stay mad, whatever. And she's like, my case got dismissed. You're all haters. I'll be releasing my statement on what's today? What's October 23rd? My public statement. No such says statement, not apology, first off. And then come to find out, she's posting that statement on her OnlyFans. So you have to pay to see it. So she's trying to capitalize on the situation and make a bunch of money. Right. But I follow this guy on TikTok. Okay. I want to say his name is like that Danes guy. It's not Danish, but it's like Dane SH guy, right? He's like, I don't know, man, a troll for good. The one thing that's really bad, you could say it's bad. It's toxic. It's funny. I don't know. It's toxic. Okay. He finds people who died of COVID and shows their anti-COVID posts, and then shows their obituary, and is like, look what happened. And then every time people talk about beating their kids online, he basically doxes them. Finds their Facebook, finds their info, and reports them to their local CPS, which I think is pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
But him and his followers mass reported her OnlyFans, so it got shut down before she could release her statement and make any money off it.
Hell yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Hell
I was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, good shit.
Hell yeah.
Fuck that bitch. It's fucking wild.
The digital princess has been dethroned.
Dethroned. I want to know why the case got thrown out. I bet it was like I can't like a mistrial. That's the wrong terminology. Like maybe one of the cops made a mistake in the investigation. You know what I mean? And that's why it got thrown out. I'm curious to see, or maybe she's just innocent and we're all wrong. We're just dragging this poor girl through the mud for no reason.
Mm,
Doubt that.
But she gives off bad mom vibes.
she
I'm gonna
does.
say she gives off Cookie Monster sweatpants, hot Cheetos girl vibes.
Yeah, I just looked her up and I agree. She does give off bad mom vibes. I didn't
Uh-huh.
even know like it doesn't even it's not prevalent in any of her like online postings that she even has a kid. So
Uh,
for that to even happen, that's crazy.
I need to find uh my other my other thing. Can we talk about what happened to you just a little bit ago, real quick?
Me?
Yeah.
Vegas, baby.
You
No, no,
mean
no. I mean the picture you you received.
so we were sitting here before we had to do a good old hardcore restart, as lovely technical issues arise and things popping up. And I'm sitting here and I see a fucking dick come across the screen on my phone. I'm like, what is this? Okay. So I open it up and it's some guy on Reddit uh, that posted a picture of his dick. Now, here's what we just found out, okay? Well, not us. I mean, maybe us, because I shared it, of course. But to me, when I opened it, it's under my messages in Reddit. I don't ever really use Reddit for really anything except doing some additional research or whatever. So I'm looking through this, and it's under the messages tab, and it's this guy's just fucking laying out, dick hanging out, and it's just a full body picture. I'm like, what the fuck? So I share it over, and then I'm looking a little closer to the picture, and it says it's posted in
Really, really inspecting it.
really like fine details, And I'm looking, and at the bottom I see it's posted in the subreddit is
R
B
slash BHM.
BHM, yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I share it with Tyler and Nick, and we're inspecting it, and Tyler's like, this stands for what is it?
Big hairy man.
Big
Big hairy males. Big hairy
males.
men.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, and then Tyler's like, okay, send me a screenshot of how it came to you. Come to find out, apparently this is in my activity or recently searched. So I
It was
guess
suggested content.
suggested contact, and I guess and that's the only thing that's in it. There's
That's
nothing
just
else.
that
Just
one
that
dick.
one post is the only thing that's in that. I've also have had my Reddit for 7 years, and there's nothing else in it. And I'm talking in all of my history, like going through the history on Reddit, going through everything on here. It's the only thing that's in here are like Podbean, Spotify, a bunch of podcast stuff, Wall Street Bets, just random stuff that I've done research on that I've used Reddit for. And the thing is Reddit is not one of those things that I use every day. I use Reddit probably maybe once a month, and that's if I have to look something up or if I want tips for something. So it's crazy that that popped up on my screen. It was so funny. I'm glad that I was able to share it with you guys, and I'm glad that you're gonna be cursed by the uncircumcised penis that this man sent to me, or that was suggested to me by Reddit. So
I just want you all to know, if I could post it to the Facebook page, I would post it to the Facebook page.
I highly recommend nobody ever looking at this.
That's awful. But see, now you know how all those poor girls feel. They get the unsolicited dick pics.
I just love the attention. I'm not gonna lie.
I just love it.
I'm
I've never
glad
understood that.
I'm glad that they were thinking of me
I
and
never.
their
That's
thoughts
so funny.
provided this photo.
Like I've never understood that in any circumstance. Like I guess maybe if you're like with somebody for a long time or whatever, you're married or you've been in a long term relationship, then it can be acceptable if that's your kind of dynamic you have. But like the main two instances are, or three instances are, one, it's the first thing you say to a girl, which I just do not understand that thought
That's
process.
gnarly.
Two, you message her a couple times and she doesn't answer, and then you drop it, which is even worse than the first one. I feel like because she's not gonna say, "Man, she didn't see my message. Here, let me just show her my cog." Like it's
It's
like
an icebreaker. That's what.
it's like.
That's all it is. Just an
And the
icebreaker.
third one, which is the most interesting, I think, is where you're talking and then you just randomly pop it out. Just randomly, like, oh, which 20 questions, what's your favorite color? Yeah, what kind of music let's do? Dick pic. It's like, what's like, why? It's like no one wants to see a dick unprovoked.
I don't think I've ever heard of an incident an incident of 20 questions where a dick pops up. Okay, question number 13. Do you like my dick? I mean that seems prevalent, right? I mean, that's within the parameters of the game.
That is horrible. I feel like the same. This might be a conflicting interest, but it's like the same dudes that send unsolicited dick pics are the ones that ask for a hug.
Uh-huh.
Like they'll just send you a dick pic randomly, and then at the end of the night they'll be like, and they'll text you on the way home like, "Can I get a hug when I drop you off?" Like you're in middle school.
That makes me uncomfortable. You saying on your way home he texts you and asks you for a hug. You guys are in the same car.
Yeah, I'm just
That
saying
makes me uncomfortable for sure.
it's uncomfortable. Um, another news happening that I have. Did you guys hear about Alec Baldwin recently? What he did?
How he shot that poor girl?
He shot that poor girl on set. Uh, so basically, what happened was their union people on set were complaining that safety measures weren't being taken, specifically with the firearms, and they had already had like two misfires the day before, I think, on guns that they said were not loaded or cold, whatever terminology you would have used. So all those union people walked out. They're packing their stuff up and leaving because it wasn't the same environment to work. So they just hired a bunch of locals to do the job. Then one of the producers handed him the gun and said it was cold. It was checked. And then he shot, and it killed the. I can't even think of her name. Unfortunately, I have to find it. He killed the head cinematographer and critically injured the director. I think he is out of the hospital now, though.
That's fucking crazy.
Here's the thing though, like that's not on him in my opinion, right? Am I wrong?
I don't think you're okay.
I mean, if you're shooting a fucking movie for God's sakes. How do
Yeah.
live rounds even get involved?
Exactly.
I want to say the blanks are considered live rounds also.
Regardless, man, that's crazy.
But a blank isn't going to.
How many years have we been making fucking movies and then no one's been shot by a live round until now?
This has
Brandon.
I mean,
Lee.
I don't doubt that it's happened, but I'm just saying,
Well,
how many fucking years have we been making movies with guns in them, and then this is just, it's 2021. How are we doing this?
What happens is the blank fragments when it's fired, and the barrel's not cleared afterwards. So when the next one's fired, those fragments turn into projectiles.
Yeah, except this was an actual. This was a projectile. This was.
Was it like a live round?
This was a live round. This was a bullet.
How does that even happen?
How does that even happen?
That's what I'm saying. How does a live round get into a movie set unless someone wanted someone dead?
Or somebody wanted to prove a point.
Apparently, it's protocol that he's not allowed to check the gun, which I think that is not right. I think anybody who handles the firearm should.
Yeah, that's like gun ownership 101.
Yeah. Apparently, it's supposed to be checked and cleared twice before it's handed to him. So in theory, he should never have to, but I think he should. I think
be troubled with it, right?
Yeah, basic gun safety is you should check it. You know what I mean? But in theory, no, it's not his fault. He's probably pretty traumatized by the whole thing. Honestly, I mean, he didn't want to kill that poor girl.
When you accidentally murder someone unknowingly, yeah.
Her name was Helena Hutchins. She was 42. But like
What was the movie?
Rust.
Rust, I don't know what that is though.
Me
I
neither.
imagine it's going to be on a huge delay.
I imagine so. If it even finishes.
If I was gonna say if it even comes out, how do you finish the movie now? Like, how can
Yeah.
you get back on set and recover from that?
Uh-huh.
I
He has to
honestly,
live with that for the rest
rest
of
of his
whatever
life, yeah.
remaining years he has of his life.
I'm not to be like really dark about it, but I don't foresee many more years on him. On in a situation like that, it's almost like
That has to shave 10 years off your life. Just the stress alone of that
yeah.
kind of.
I
I
mean
mean, Alex not getting any younger. I
this
mean,
Right.
he's not
exactly
old. He's not like Crypt Keeper old, but
right.
he's not young. He's
But
not spry.
this is one of those situations where it wasn't even an accident. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't an accident.
At the very least, it was negligence. Like at
Exactly.
the very least, it was
Like
somebody not doing their job.
and
I feel back. I feel kind of bad for the armorer lady. Everyone's dragging her through the mud because apparently she went on a podcast saying that she almost didn't take the job because she didn't feel ready. And apparently that she's the first line of defense, if you will. She's the first one to check and clear the weapon, and then somebody else also checks and clears the weapon before it's handed to the actor, from my understanding.
so the armorer is literally that exact title. So what you think of an armorer, that's exactly what she does. It is 100% her fault. She loaded that weapon. So
It's crazy to me.
in something, it's whatever chain of events that happened, she basically loaded a live round into a prop gun.
I wonder. I wonder if someone's going to see the inside of a jail cell over this.
I, I don't even know. I'm so like
Oh,
this.
Hollywood is so secretive, and you know
Mhm.
what I mean. Like,
Well, it's because it's all movie magic.
I'm
uh-huh,
seeing shit on. I'm seeing articles saying shit like the camera crew walked off before the shooting.
uh-huh. Those the union guys I
Fucking
was talking about.
Yep.
this people are saying he ignored the number one rule of gun safety, which we just covered a second ago. The armor, I'm not even, her name's Hannah Reed. I'm not gonna try and pronounce her hyphenated bullshit. But Hannah Reed once gave unchecked gun to 11-year-old actor, according to one report. Um, the armor says she wasn't ready, quote unquote, for last job. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this?
There's gonna be so much blame that's gonna shift between all these different people
Oh
to
yeah, you have.
before something even happens.
I mean, any given major motion picture, you have hundreds of people all working and turning the gears to achieve one thing, which is to shoot, a film. And the scene they were shooting was probably 30 seconds worth of film. And
And
that
It
that
30,
was
lady,
it was literally that shot. I mean, like
yeah,
because the
it
way
was probably a quick cut of him shooting the gun. It was probably just a close up of him shooting, like a nothing shot.
that's exactly what it was.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
why it killed the cinematographer or whatever that is. Because it was just basically what do they call it?
A
A
quick
scene.
cut. I mean,
Yeah,
it
like
was. I seen the
exactly
change. Yeah.
a quick scene, and that's all it was. And he literally just pulled the trigger and blew somebody away. And but the thing is if it's true that it's protocol that these actors do not check the gun, how is he at fault? Like he literally has no fault in this.
I saw people on TikTok. Granted, it's in the comments on TikTok, was saying that he could be fired or fined for checking the gun because he's not authorized to handle it in that manner, only to point and shoot.
Exactly. And if that is true, if that is the actual case, that man pulled the trigger and killed somebody for somebody else. Like
But it's wild to me that that you see that like he can't check the gun, he's not qualified, and you have the other end of the spectrum with like Keanu Reeves, who is overqualified in firearms for his movie
He
roles.
is literally John fucking Wick.
Like he is an
literally
operator
100%.
tier
Yeah,
warrior with those firearms.
yeah, yeah. I totally get it. It's just I don't know if I would be able like better him than me because I couldn't be a puppeteer in that sense. Every gun that I pick up, I always check. No matter what it is, it's not just for my safety, but it's for the safety of people around me. It's just like people who accidentally shoot and kill their wives, right?
While
So,
cleaning their gun or themselves.
yeah, like just going off on a small tangent here. Uh, there's somebody that we know who was in the military, and he was an MP in the military for about 25 years. He worked the gate. This man is a trained operative, okay? So I mean, this man has done multiple tours being an MP, meaning that he polices the highly trained
To
operatives, right?
quote to quote Tom Cruise is, "I'm just like any other cop, except all of my bad guys are trained killers."
Exactly. This man was at his house. He has been on the force for 20 years at this point, is cleaning his gun in the kitchen and blows his wife's head off with his service firearm. He has never had a misfire once in his entire career. Not one single time.
One moment of complacency with a firearm man is all it.
But see, the thing is, him and his wife were having some marital issues,
Ooh.
and he talked about how easy it would be if his wife were no longer around. This man shot and killed this lady, blamed it on a misfire, got to stay in the service, and collected her life insurance.
That's something fishy. You gotta tell me who that is off air. I feel like if I've heard this story before,
It
but
is absolutely bonkers.
I have an opposite end of the spectrum. This is a bonkers story that I heard on the internet once. A man was cleaning his 22 and, air quote, shot himself in the head. What had happened was his wife shot him in the head with her 22 while he was cleaning his gun, and it didn't kill him. It just ricocheted and lodged at the top of his skull, basically scalped the poor dude. And they somehow came to the agreement that they weren't going to tell anybody that he shot himself while he was cleaning his gun. And they went to the ER, and that's the story they gave. But
That's
somehow it
fine.
unraveled, and it came out that she shot him. And he was just like, "Oh, I mean, I deserve it, I guess." That was pretty funny, huh? You got me,
Wow.
Mary.
Well,
Tag, you're it.
if it if the projectile was lodged in of the top of his skull, that means she was across the room. Somebody knows that that lady shot him.
He knows. They both know. She went to jail over it once it came out because
She had to have because see 22s just like 9 millimeters, they're they're small but they're fast. So they make holes in you, right? Where like a 45, it's a larger round. That's gonna cause some damage. Now the thing is with a small caliber round through the skull, if it can go through the skull, it's not gonna go out. It won't be in and out.
it didn't pierce his skull though.
Exactly. So that 22, the only way that you can get a 22 through your skull is if it is pressed against your forehead.
Wild. It just
S-
ricochets off.
Exactly, it just ricochets. So that's why that's why you'll see a lot of people who get shot in the face with 22s, they'll survive because our bones in our face and head are stronger than the projectile itself. It'll just get lodged somewhere else. Granted, it's going to cause a little bit of pain, but you're going to live from it. Uh, but yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't it
It's
fucking
just it's
bonkers?
just like people who shoot each other with bulletproof vests on.
Do you see those? Some guys got arrested for that in 2019.
Yeah,
They were shooting each other in bulletproof vests, and they both got arrested. And it's like, why? They were all consenting adults.
you're
How about
right.
the other one where this was, I want to say 2017, 2018. It might have been 2016. This lady and this man were husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, were trying to start their YouTube career, and they were convinced that a phone book would stop a desert eagle. So she shot her husband in the fucking chest and killed him in their backyard because it passed right through that fucking phone book because it's a 50 caliber round. And they're sure she went to jail too. But
Holy
I mean,
shit.
how horrible is that though? Because she didn't mean to. She's just dumb. She thought it would work. She thought he was
Okay,
going to be okay. She
I
accidentally killed her boyfriend
I
and then
get
had to
it.
go to prison.
I get it, but you should have shot that phone book first.
You think so? You would think that you would test it.
That is crazy.
It
That's like
is.
Putting blind faith and into a fucking phone book against a 50 caliber weapon
Darwinism, man.
is yeah, that's the only excuse you can really have about that is this is Darwinism working its beautiful magic.
so
Stupid people kill themselves with guns all the time.
all the time. So like as somebody who wears, who has worn body armor before.
Every day you just walk, you just wear a plate carrier to the grocery store.
No, I just wake up and that's all I wear to work, sitting at my desk inside my house.
You work from home, you wear a plate carrier.
uh, but as somebody who wore, body armor, the the actual soft body, it says it can stop up to a 40, a 45, even a 38 special or 30-06, right?
It's not going to be fun though.
It's not going to be fun, no.
I saw someone said on TikTok, just because your steel plate can take 50 rounds doesn't mean you can take 50 rounds while wearing it.
Yes. So this armor that I have, right, is rated up. It's considered 3A plus. So that's the type of coverage it gets, which is basically any small arms. So basically any like uh, side arms, any small firearms. Now, I have watched videos of people shooting this specific type of body armor that I have, and it's stopping a point blank uh, 12 gauge slug. It stopped a point blank Desert Eagle round. It also stopped a 5.56 round from about 20 yards. Now, would I ever stand behind that? No way. If I ever saw any of those you know firearms coming out, I know I'd be dead. I would just assume I'm dead. If I live by some miracle, hell yeah, I'll save that and frame it. But I know the only thing that I can go up against is small arms.
Uh-huh.
But that's just like those things are tested, and this
Yeah.
is this is for sure what they'll stop. It might stop something else, but this is for sure what it will stop. That phone book
It's
is not even nowadays. Phone books are not even good enough for the strongman contest, ripping it in half.
Speaking of, did you guys ever see those Christian strongmen? Like it was a bunch of like bodybuilders, basically ex convicts and drug addicts who are now addicted to bodybuilding and having eating disorder, who would just do stuff like that. They would like go to churches and they would rip phone books in half and they would like break giant ice blocks and like hold fucking cinder blocks on their chest while another one breaks with a sledgehammer. Just generic strong guy shit. But then they would, after each one, they would go, "Thank you, God. I can do this because the power of the Lord." And like
No, I've never seen
it was, it was a trip, man. It was like I don't even know. The Christians, they ruin everything. They
Christian.
take everything and they just ruin it. That's fucking wild. Um, on another note, speaking of guns, another weird one is this. This was another, I want to say 2016, where this dad killed himself in a baby gender reveal with tannerite. They shot something with tannerite, and the shrapnel came back and killed him for a fucking gender reveal. That's another
I
thing
saw
that
that.
kills a lot of people is gender reveals. Dude, use some balloons or something, okay? Something simple, no fire, no projectiles. You don't need any
Like
of that.
a confetti cannon, like a handheld confetti cannon or
Uh huh.
something. You don't
Easy
have to blow
peasy.
cars up.
No, no, you don't. No one cares about your kid that much. I'm sorry. And that's coming from someone that has one and a half. No one cares about your kid that much. You have to understand that you're the only person that really cares about your kid.
That's
So,
a good way to
I
put
mean,
it.
that's not true. Like, obviously, your friends and family, but
No,
like,
no, nope,
it's
nope. They
not
don't care.
worth.
You already said it. They
It's
don't care.
not worth
Nobody cares but
blowing up
you.
a car.
I mean, that's a pretty cool way, though.
Honestly, I didn't like the gender reveal. With our first one, we just found out what it was. I was content. I was content with that. I didn't like not knowing very much. And then then we found out. But like,
What about your gender reveal this time? Did you like that?
that was pretty cool because they pranked us, right? So like, we had like this bag of balloons strung up that we were supposed to open, and that was going to be it. And we opened it, and blue and pink balloons fell out, and we're like, "What the fuck? Twins? What? Like what the fuck?" And then my dad and my sister's boyfriend were behind us with these loud ass confetti powder cannons, and they snuck up behind us and shot those off and scared us. And they were pink, so that was pretty cool.
Gotcha.
But look, no one died. Nothing caught on fire. Like easy, easy. Sorry to break the fourth wall, Nick. Are you alive? I think he's alive.
Yeah, looks alive.
He's moving. Okay.
Great.
Do you have anything to add on the gender reveals?
Love
Okay. Good. That's a hot take. That might get us canceled. It's okay. I'll just edit it out. It'll sound like you didn't say anything.
Oh, gnarly.
How about what did you guys do a gender reveal, Nick?
Cool.
Honestly, we're gonna have to edit that one out too. That sounds a little racially motivated, if I'm being honest. We'll have to unpack that one later. I genuinely can't tell if he's fucking with us or if he's asleep at this point.
He's sleeping.
You think he is?
Yeah. He's not even like
Okay.
smirking.
Well, let's just what a dumpster fire episode this is. Let's finish it out.
That's fine.
This is good. This is good content. What's our time? Where are we at?
47?
47. We can make it to an hour, right? That's a good.
Sure.
We can. Do you want to discuss these? I cannot believe he's asleep. This is the funniest thing that has ever happened. He's fallen asleep a couple times playing games too.
Yeah, but he said no, 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 no. This is gonna be completely effortless.
he
And the
said
thing is,
that
he's dreaming about us right now because you can still hear us
you can
talk.
hear us talking. He said the only thing keeping me awake is this bright white screen, and I can't see it in his sunglasses.
I can see it in his sunglasses.
Yep, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. The screen went away. He hit his 24-hour mark.
He just instantly passes out when the screen goes dark. It's just uncontrollable.
That's so funny.
This is good. Let's do these. Am I the assholes? If it'll let me. This one's pretty fun. I'm a little depressed because I wanted Nick's take on this. His boomer take.
Boomer.
This is. I love that he's still here. He's still actively a part of the podcast. He's just sleeping. Okay. Oh God, I love it. Am I the asshole for shutting down access to my property and lake fund? Background. I recently purchased several acres of wooded property, a good portion of which juts out into a rather large lake. My peninsula gives me some great lakefront. There's a smaller strip of beach, that's in quotations, a dock, and a few boat slips. Because of the woods surrounding the lake, I'm the only one for several miles that has access to the water without going bushwhacking through the trees. Apparently, over many years, my neighbors have gotten used to taking their boats down my driveway to launch or going and spending time on the beach. I bought this place over the holidays and just recently moved in at the beginning of the summer. Before anyone introduced themselves to me, I was met with a regular stream of traffic cutting through my lot to get to the water. At first, I thought it was because I purchased the property and didn't move in right away that everyone just assumed the land was vacant so they could take advantage until that changed. So I started walking out when I saw people, letting them know that I live there now, and also making a point to make it obvious the house was lived in. Not much changed, so I got blunt and started asking people directly to not trespass on my property. I wish I could say that my direct approach solved the problem, but people would still trek right through. I put up fence and I put up signs saying private property, as well as a sign letting folks know that my dogs were on the property. Once I put the fence up, I started letting them, the dogs, roam the property and didn't want any trouble. Unfortunately, the neighbors took my friends and the dogs, despite the fact that I owned the dogs well before moving into the lot as an act of aggression. I had a neighbor come to my door and literally yell at me because my dogs barked at her kids when they tried to pull their raft up onto my beach. That same neighbor advised me this lot has always been the neighborhood entrance to the lake. Apparently, a number of the neighbors built a fire pit and put tables and rocks and park like features out there. In chatting with a couple of the friends I managed to make in my neighborhood, they confirmed what the neighbors said was true, that my property has always been more of a park than a private lot. Anyway, I feel bad for the inconvenience that the nearby lake access has been cut off. I live in myself, and I'm personally not comfortable with anyone and everyone just tracing through my yard. On one hand, I feel like it's absolutely my decision to restrict access to my lot. But the other, I'm wondering if I'm breaking some sort of unspoken rule of access that was established before I even got here. Am I the asshole for closing out my property? There's two updates. The one says that she's not asking for legal advice. She has an attorney. Actually, I shouldn't say she. I don't know if it's male or female. Um, they said they have an attorney and it's their wealth and their rights. And it says she clarifies that they took letting the dogs out as a sign of aggression. They didn't literally take her dogs. I feel like this is the tough one because it's like, she's not, or I don't know why I want to say she. Probably because they say they live alone and they're afraid to have people, which is a gender stereotype that I should break and become more progressive. Anyways, sorry. I feel like no. I mean, the person has every right in the world to cut off their lot. It's unfortunate for everybody else, but I don't think they're an asshole. They bought the place and they just don't want to have a bunch of strangers around that they're technically liable for.
I can see that. Um,
Like it sucks. I mean, like, of course, if you're on the other end of it, you'd be upset because you've had access to this lake for years and maybe you put time, effort, and money into the spot, and now you're just cut off from it. But like, I mean, I guess
so my my take on this, right,
uh
is how close to the house is this?
that'd be good to know.
Because
Uh,
like
since she has several acres, what
exactly,
what I what I would imagine is it's a nice property. So I would imagine she probably has a decent size yard, and then it goes to the wooded area peninsula.
mhm,
But she also switches. At one point, she was cutting through my lot. At one point, cutting through my
to my
yard,
yard. Exactly.
because like thinking of this is not going to make any sense to anybody but me and you. But Robert, when we go fish, you can get to his lake without cutting through his yard, but you have to come through his driveway and through his lot.
Hmm.
So you know what I mean. I imagine it's something like that, where they probably have to go down her driveway, past her house and past their yard to the lake area.
So like for me, the way that I'm imagining this, right, is her house is way over here to the left, and the little entranceway is way over here to the right.
So it's like opposite side of her yard. Like,
Exactly. Right.
uh
Completely
huh.
away from the house. But the thing is if this is already paved or like graveled or anything, unless she like paid for it, I mean,
Well, she says that she owns up to the shorefront. Like she owns the beach. So it's not like the public land's caught off by her land.
I just,
It's just her land.
I mean, if she owns this many acres, how many people are actually around her? How many people are actually using this?
So I imagine it's like a small lake with a bunch of houses around it, but they all have their woods not
Yeah.
kept, so they can't get to it. So, but I mean, and that adds a whole other level of gray
I
to
don't
it.
know. Like the thing is, there's three easy ways to check this story. One she already did by checking with her friends. The second one was go down and see if there's like rocks and picnic tables and fire pits and stuff down there like they said. And then the third one is, why don't you just knock on the neighbors next door? Like, hey, is this something that is common? Like,
Right. She says it's common. I get it. I mean, maybe I would probably compromise. I would probably, because like there's a pond on the nearby town called Cooper's that recently closed down, but it's just someone's private place, and they just set hours that you're allowed to be there, and like for the most
yeah,
part, they never had to like really do anything, but they had to close it down 2019 because people kept tearing the place up and fighting and shit, as
right,
people do.
of course.
So I mean, I think a compromise would be something like that, like. But at the same time, I get it.
You
Like
paid for it, like,
it's every right, to
yeah,
not want to have people there and to just live her life, and all these previous social contracts that were there are none of her business, none of her problem.
yeah. It's just like, I think it's more the
There's no
family.
asshole,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's.
I think it's the more of the family aspect for me of like, hey, why wouldn't I share this experience? Especially if you live alone. If you
Love
live,
thy neighbor and all that. Yeah.
yeah. But the thing is, if you live alone, it's better to have partners in your community than to be shut out by everybody.
Yeah, but this is coming from the perspective of two big guys, two big white guys
Yeah,
that don't get bothered by anybody and can probably defend themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean that's true too.
imagine if you're like a woman or a minority or both,
Yeah.
and you're in this new place by yourself, and like,
I mean I can see it. I get that that the social contracts were not put in place by you, and you had no actual written understanding of anything, even something like, hey, we let the community utilize this part of the driveway to get back to the beach. We've never had a problem with that. It's up to you to keep it. But I don't think she's an asshole for putting up a fence or letting her dogs roam the property. They I don't think they're the asshole for any of that. Um, I also don't think that they're the asshole for cutting off access either, because
it just sucks. You
it
know what I mean?
just sucks for the other people. It really just comes down to the kind of person that she is.
Now I don't think those people have a right to come to her and yell at her.
Oh
I don't.
no,
I don't.
they're
I
the
think that's
asshole.
kind of
100%.
ridiculous. Yeah.
They are complete assholes. There's
Uh,
no reason for them to come at her like that by any means.
but yeah, it was just kind of. I thought that was pretty. It's kind of like a big gray area. Most of the "Am I the asshole" posts are pretty like obvious, like just people looking for validation in their situation and things like that.
They're like, am I actually the asshole here? Or yeah, no,
Uh,
that's pretty gray. I think that's a really unique one, but I mean it's common too. Especially if there's like nothing around you. You know what I mean? Like
huh.
for me, I live by the ocean. That's not gonna bother me. Like
You're right.
your driveway is not gonna bother me. But if I lived like in Ohio where I was landlocked, pretty much, the only thing that's around me is your lake for the next hour, 2 hours. That might affect me a little bit more. But at the same time, why don't those people just come to her and be like, "Hey, let's be friends. My name is Josh. We're
Let's.
adults."
I want you to feel comfortable with. I want you to feel
Yeah,
comfortable so we can still use this. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Something like that. Yeah. This other one's kind of funny. I think it's pretty much of a given, but it's kind of just ridiculous and it's funny. Am I the asshole for making my brother's fiance pee on herself because I was in the bath? It says, I, 19, I use they, them pronouns. Since they specify it, we should try to use they, them. Uh, live with my mom. I live with my mom, my sister, my brother, and his fiance. Keep in mind, our house has 4 bathrooms. Some info. I not only have the only downstairs bedroom, but my room is the opposite side of the house from the kitchen. And by my room is one of the full bathrooms. When you walk out the kitchen, you have to walk a few steps down the hallway, but the bathroom is much closer to the kitchen. That bathroom is closer to the kitchen than the one by my room. Anyways, lately I've been getting a ton of flare ups. Shouldn't specify what. Not sure what it is, but I've come to learn that oatmeal baths help a lot. Today happened to be one of those awful days I had a really bad flare up. I got an oatmeal bath ready and announced to my sister and my brother's fiance, who were both cooking in the kitchen, I would be using that bathroom and got in. About a few minutes later, my brother's fiance starts knocking on the door saying she has to pee and couldn't hold it. I told her I'm not exposing myself and she could go to the bathroom by the kitchen or upstairs. This went on for a short time. She kept knocking and said, I don't see the big deal. We have the same body parts. Maybe 30 seconds later, she stopped and then she started banging on the door, crying, saying she peed herself and it's my fault. Fast forward to me out of the bath and she's still crying to my brother and he told me I humiliated her. Here's where I'm being called the asshole. My brother and my mom are demanding I take her out to lunch as an apology. I told them I'm not apologizing because she all of a sudden has a weak bladder. There's been several times she's had to hold it and never had an accident any of those times. Am I the asshole here?
No,
No, no.
not the
There
asshole,
are other
because
bathrooms.
there are other bathrooms, but it also sounds like
She
brother's
walked
girlfriend
past.
wants to see her naked.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? She walked past a closer bathroom, and then demanded to be let into the one that
And
that they were in.
and then you knocked on the door over and over again after being told no for 30 seconds.
So if she says no, then go to the other bathroom.
Exactly.
It's just
Sh-
like
she wanted to see the goods.
she
And
wanted to see the.
and
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's like some weird fascination? Like, oh, they're they them. I wonder what it's like. Like, do you think it's like I don't want to assume they're trans, but that's kind of the usually what
mhm,
is the they them. So I'm curious if there's just some weird dynamic there, or if maybe the
maybe.
girl just wants the attention of pissing herself and everyone feeling bad for her.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at the bigger picture, right?
Uh,
Why is the brother and the fiance living in mom and dad's house with four other siblings?
oh, shut the fuck up, Joshua. That is irrelevant to the story.
But is it like
Okay, okay. Why are brother and sister living with brother?
okay? Why is son and fiance living with sister and boyfriend?
Because shit's tough out here.
I'm just kidding.
It takes a village to raise a man child. Don't you know
My village is already passed.
that?
No,
No, it's just so stupid, isn't it?
but see, the
Can
thing
you
is,
fucking
the
imagine?
the whole statement of we have the same body parts, that
That is
makes
so
me,
disrespectful and uncomfortable.
but see, that makes me think more along the lines of they want to see you
Right, because
indisposed like that.
I just I wouldn't say that to somebody. Like if it were a bad example, because neither one of
We
us
are
would
a
really
bad example.
care. But like if I were like Josh, I gotta go, and you were to no, I don't want you in here. I'm shitting my brains out or whatever. I'm not
Right.
gonna be like, come on, bro. We both have dick and balls. Let me in. Like no.
Yeah.
That's why that's the thing. People are weird about bathrooms, especially with this trans movement. And like people are like afraid of trans people in the bathrooms. What the fuck do you do in the bathroom, dude? I
Yeah,
go,
right.
go to the bathroom, and leave. I don't make friends. I don't talk to anybody. I don't. It doesn't. I don't. I do my best to not look at anybody
Yeah.
else when I'm in the bathroom.
I I don't get the I don't get what the problem is. I don't get the fascination behind everything of, oh, they are in my bathroom, they are in the male's bathroom, or they are in the female's bathroom. What the fuck does it matter?
Just use the bathroom and
If
get out.
if
Here's the thing.
they if they can
You
use the urinal and they look like a traditional female and they can use the urinal, what is it to you? If they pull out a huge fucking dick out of their skirt, okay? You're jealous because they're able to wear a skirt, feel
and you're
comfortable in their
not.
skin, and you can't. You're over here with a little small
People
pecker.
people are they're not so much in arms about this anymore. But when they were, people don't realize you've been using the bathroom with trans people for fucking forever,
Hmm.
and you don't know because it's a fucking bathroom and you don't pay
Exactly.
attention.
Yep.
It's
But
just like
see, part of me thinks that with like the trans movement and everything, they just need to switch everything to toilets. Get rid of the
the
urinals.
stalls
Yeah. Like
or Yeah, I mean that's fine. Or
Like,
do like porta potty style stalls
yeah,
with a
like,
urinal on the stall.
but the thing is, like, what is the advantage to a urinal?
Uh, I think it's less water and less cleanup. If you're
Mm,
strictly if it's a lot like a lot of men
mm,
using the bathroom, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's less in like a public bathroom setting.
I get that, but I don't like to me.
But even you could do it like this. You could do bathroom with urinals and without urinals. That's how you can define them.
Oh yeah, that
You know what I mean?
that's good too. Yeah, like, and like, I, of course, as I said, I watched the Dave Chappelle special on Netflix, um, but like, what is it protecting me? Like, what is it protecting? You're saying that this law protects me as a person in the bathroom that prevents from either, a female or a male to come into the bathroom when I'm in the male bathroom, right?
What it is everybody has uh, there's this fucking like crazy thing that all trans men are pedophiles and rapists, and they just want to be trans to get in the women's bathroom and defile and are women and girls.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, it's just like everything else.
Literally,
Every so and so is a pedophile because they choose this avenue, or they do these actions, so they're a pedophile. And literally they're not. These like these people, they feel comfortable in their skin as the way that they portray themselves. So let them make the decision of where to go to the
exactly.
bathroom.
Just fucking go to the bathroom and get out.
Exactly.
And
If I see somebody come in, if I see somebody come in the bathroom and they look like a female, I would say, huh, that's weird. Maybe they have a kid here. Maybe they have,
that's a you're in the boys' room and you're a lady.
like, maybe they have, a spouse or something. Brianna got overly, overly intoxicated on Monday when we were in Vegas, and I was not going to second guess walking into into that lady's restroom. My wife was sick. She was not in the right mind, and
I've
I
had
don't care. I would have walked in there.
uh-huh. You've been like just ladies. They just open the door. Hey, my wife's in here. I'm gonna come in and get her. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna give you a second so you can cover up. Or
Like,
even better, you could be like, "Can you bring my wife out here? She's the drunk one with glasses."
like, yes, I would probably do something along those lines. That way, I wasn't intruding on anybody's privacy. Being like,
uh-huh.
hey, like, I worked in a prison for years, so I'm used to having to say, hey, male on deck or male in the restroom or whatever the situation is, because those situations arise. So yeah, I would if that was to happen. Lucky enough, she came out before that did. I would say like, hey, I'm a male is entering the restroom. I'm just getting my wife, or something of that nature. But like, I would just think, because the thing is that not everywhere has family restrooms. So what if they have a child in there?
You ever walked in the wrong restroom?
Yeah, when I was a little kid.
I did that as I think it was like 18 or 19. I was just on my phone and wasn't paying attention, and I just walked in, and there was like a lady washing her hands, and she went, "Oh," and I went, "Oh, wrong one," and turned around and walked out.
I
Same situation. I was in the men's, and a lady walked in, and I was washing my hands, and I went, "Oh," and she went, "Oh, wrong one," and walked in. It's just like,
The only time I ever walked into the wrong bathroom was I was at Red Lobster with my grandma, and the Red Lobster in Marion, the bathrooms are on the other side of the lobster tank, and I was standing there
uh-huh.
watching the lobsters. My grandma already went into the bathroom and left and whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna use the restroom. So I walk in, and I'm like, huh. I vividly remember this. Where's all the urinals?
That's weird.
And there's all stalls running up and down the wall. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just, do my business. I go over and wash my hands, As I'm walking out, there's an older lady that walks in, and then I turn around and I'm just scared
Oh my
shitless,
god.
and I
Uh,
and I look and there's the triangle on the door, and I was like, oh no! And then I run back to the back of the Red Lobster, and I tell my grandma, and I thought I had cooties forever because I was like,
I'm going to jail.
I
The
I
FBI is coming.
I'm pretty sure I was like 7 maybe.
That is
So
so funny.
it was pretty funny.
Oops.
Enough
One time
bathroom talk.
I got one more. We were camping at Cedar Point, and my little brother Kareem was fighting with my dad about something. I think he didn't want to go get changed or something like that. He didn't want to go to bed, so he was in trouble, and he was going. He stormed off from our camper into the bathroom, and it was a campground bathroom. So one side's male, one side of the building is ladies. And he's wearing swim trunks. All he has is underwear. He's just gonna go put on his underwear and then just wear those back, right? So he's mad. And he's fucking bumbling himself, and he's stomping away. And we see him stomp right into the ladies' room. And like 10 seconds later, he comes peeling out of there, fucking fast as hell, waving his underwear around, going, "It's the ladies! That was the ladies' room! That's the ladies' room!" And he just runs all the way around the bathroom with his arms in the air into the men's side, and then changes and comes back out. It was the funniest fucking thing
I remember that
I
story.
have
That was
ever
so
seen.
funny. That is so funny.
It is pretty great. What's our time?
111.
Okay. Uh,
For all of
we're
you that cannot see, Nick has officially slumped into the
slumped down
couch.
out of view.
He is no longer able to be seen.
Okay. I feel like I can make up a segment real quick
Sure.
if you don't have any trivia, because uh,
Our fearless leader was supposed
our
to run
fearless
trivia tonight,
leader, yeah.
but
Um,
as we can see, the dumpster fire has consumed Nick. Rest in heaven. Good night.
okay, how bad do you want to go?
How
Because
bad?
I have a lot of prompts. So like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scan. You want to do let's stay on the Halloween. Let's do this one's kind of not Halloween. What is the worst possible thing you could think of to do on a boat? And what would you name said boat?
What's the worst possible thing I can do on a boat?
Uh-huh. Let's skip that one. Let's
Okay.
do another one. Let's do what's your best saw trap? You got one of those?
My best saw trap.
Uh-huh.
Hmm, that's a good one.
It's a pretty good one. I've actually thought about this a little bit,
Okay, go ahead.
I kind of like I like the give and take aspect of the one, right? So like
In the bathrooms with the chains around their neck?
no, I like the one where you got to cut your flesh off and put it in
Oh,
the thing. So I think something similar but like you have it's like a mini wood chipper, right? And under it is like a vial, like a glass jar on a scale, right? And you have to stick something in this little wood chipper to fill the jar with blood, which makes the scale go down. Which let's throw a twist on it. Let's say there's a key hanging in the air. You just can't reach it, and when that happens, the key it drops. So you can get out because the walls have spikes on them and they're closing it. So basically, it's stick your hand or foot in this mini thing to get blood, to get the key, to get out, or get crushed by a spiky wall.
hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna go traditional saw route.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have 2 people on tricycles. Uh, they are going to have a brace around them. Okay. So this is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
kind of like if you remember when they were in the bathrooms and there was a chain that connected the 2 people, and just some weird stuff happened. Whatever. So it's gonna be kind of the same route. They're going to be connected to the chain. The chain is going to be slack to start with, and there's going to be a key that will release them from the the brace that they're in. Okay. Now, this chain is going to be pulling in one direction, and whoever reaches the only way that you can reach the key is by killing the other person, because the
Mhm.
spikes will have to drive through their body for it to become to basically come flush to the wall, right? So basically, you have the walls here, everything is set up, and the spikes are back here. The person on the tricycle, and basically it's just going to be a if just imagine a bed of nails, right?
Mhm.
So it's going to be whoever can basically pull the other person's weight. It's like a big game of tug of war, except they're on tricycles.
So like, I have a question though.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about the traction for said tricycles?
No. This the tricycle is just the effect of the saw, right? Just because
Okay.
that's where the puppet is on as a tricycle.
Right, but aren't they playing tug of war on them?
They are, but the tricycles are actually on like a motorized track, so there's not going to be really need to be traction because with every rotation, it clicks them up the track that can't go back. That makes
Okay.
sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, whoever wins wins. And then whoever gets up there can unlock themselves and run out the side door.
Okay. I like it. I like it. A literal. So are you gonna like do like an underdog? Or are you gonna pick two similarly sized people? Or are you gonna do like a big man and like a skinny girl and say figure it
Husband and
out?
wife.
Husband and wife. Have you there? Yeah. It's like the Squid Game and the marbles.
Oh, yeah, basically. Only one gets to leave.
I got one more. Um, maybe. It's 9/11. Okay. What's the name of your business? And what's your 9/11 sale?
Wait, 9/11 2001 or 9/11 2002?
Well, you know how like businesses do 9/11 sales? Yeah, like what is yours and
Businesses
what
do
is yours?
9/11 sales?
You never seen that?
I've never seen that.
My I'll do an example.
Oh, wait, I want to do mine.
Go for it.
Okay. Pizza shop. My 9/11 sale is going to be the twin leaning tower of Pisas. Done.
Twin leaning tower of pizzas. You know, I'm surprised you didn't go this way. Strip club, right?
Mm.
Twin tower dances.
Mm.
And then you could say something along the lines of these towers are going to come crumbling down all over you, or something along those lines. We have 10 twins, and you pay
Twin
extra, and
towers.
and they dance on you at the same time, and then you have a third girl that is free
Is
of
this
charge
is
and
this
unaware.
yours?
Yes, and
Oh,
and
that's a good one.
the third girl crashes your lap dance. She's wearing a plaid costume, and she just tackles the other two girls off you, and like that's how the lap dance ends
Ends.
because you're sad, and it was abrupt, and it was a bad taste in your mouth, kind of like 9/11
That's fucking hilarious.
did.
That I want that one to be mine actually.
I,
I've
I
changed my
actually,
mind.
actually, everything you said is my answer.
Oh, I should have went that route. That would be a good theme.
I'm surprised you didn't go the stripper route.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I thought of,
He said
or
that's the one thing I thought of.
like I don't know. You could do uh, like if you have like an apartment complex, you could do discounts on your rentals, and you can be like, uh, I don't know, jet fuel can't melt these steel beams. There's something that was low
$100
quality.
off.
Hold on, what? 309 is it flight 391? Is that what it was?
Something like that.
193, $193 off.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
$9.11 off.
If you could write an essay about how 9/11 contributed to the military-industrial complex, you get your first month's rent free.
This will be entered into a contest. All right, brother.
I think that's a good way to end it. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
just me and you. Nick
Good night, Nick.
says, "Good night, Nick. We love you."
I can see you.
Check us out on the Facebook, the TJ and Ed Show podcast, our TikTok of the same name. Come find myself on TikTok. I can't let you go poop. My Twitch that I don't really stream much on is Unwise Analysis. Do you have anything, Josh?
No, sir. Thanks so much. We greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. This is gonna be a complete shit show of a show.
Yeah.
So I hope
This
you
is
enjoyed all the quirkiness and unedited version of our lives. Today was really tough. This week was tough. We all got our ass kicked, and let's start off the next show a little bit better, and maybe all of us will be awake this time.
Sometimes you just got to get by, man. If Nick falling asleep mid podcast doesn't tell you what kind of week it's been, I don't know what will. You beautiful
100%
people have an amazing night. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.